Hello. Today is Friday, November the 2nd, and it's been a while since my last video, but just so much has been going on. I've been so busy trying to do, fit in as much as I possibly can while I still can. Today was my third dental visit in the past 4 weeks. I had to do, I hadn't been in a while and wanted to get my cleaning and any fillings and all that taken care of, but I'm done, thank goodness. I picked up my new pair of glasses from my eye appointment that I had a couple weeks ago, and got a haircut, and went and picked up our Thanksgiving turkey, so I'm excited about that. Which the turkey I'll talk about later, because that's actually something that's kind of important. Or I guess not important so much as crazy. But so yeah, some of you might have seen my Facebook, Instagram post that I posted a while ago, saying that I had talked to my nurse coordinator and she had called in a prescription for birth control pills for me. So I am now in my second week of my birth control pills. I haven't had any weird things with my birth control. I was a little nervous because I've been on oral birth control pills before and did not like them at all, but I haven't had any side effects so far. This past week, I actually got our IVF schedule from our nurse coordinator, and I was at work when I got the email. She had called and told me she was going to email me, so she emailed me my schedule as well as about 40 pages of consent forms for Derek and I to sign and have notarized, and then also the other half of that was embryo storage and distribution should anything happen to us. So, and those we had to have notarized as well. And I got the email on Tuesday, and I had to have them filled out, signed, initialed, notarized, and turned in by today. So 4 days, not even. And then also had to get our payment in by today, so that was really fun. Getting all that taken care of, but it's done, and we get started soon. So I got my schedule, and everything will be moving so fast from here on out. It will, I'm sure, be gone in a flash and will be nothing but a memory soon, but we are just so excited that it's finally happening. It feels like you wait for so long. I mean, for Derek and I, it's been, months of, our first fertility appointment was in July, and it's now November. And even before then, we were doing semen analysis through my OBGYN. We were trying for years before that, so it just feels like such a long journey is finally, stuff is finally starting to happen. So but it was fun. I was at work when I got the email of my schedule, and I actually printed it out at work on my lunch break, and I kind of blacked out. I don't really remember what I did the hour of my lunch break. I know I went to Target and kind of went into a psychogenic fugue state, and I think I bought probably hundreds of dollars worth of random stuff that I thought I needed right then and there for my IVF cycle. So it went by like that, and the rest of the day, that's all I could think about, but I'll go over the schedule with you now. So this is my my fertility binder. It has all of my stuff from my doctor, all of our paperwork, receipts, test results, all of that stuff. It just helps me to keep everything organized with our nurse coordinators' numbers and stuff like that. Let me grab my schedule. Here we go. So, as I said, I'm on birth control right now. My last day of birth control will be on Tuesday. So in just a few days, I will take my last birth control pill. 2 days after that, on Thursday, I will go in for my baseline appointment with my nurse coordinator. She will give me my fertility meds. She will show me how to do the injections while I'm there, and she will give me an actual calendar of everything from moving forward. And I will also have another ultrasound and to count follicles, I would imagine, and then also get some blood drawn at that point. Also, just to see where my levels are when I start. The very next day, which is a week from today, y'all, a week from today, I will be starting my Stim shots. Stim shots are my injections that I will be given. Don't I just sound like a grizzled veteran calling them Stim shots? That's what pretty much everybody else calls them. So I guess I'm part of the club now. So let's see. And so after that, I will be giving myself injections. And every couple days, I will go into my doctor's office and get another ultrasound and more lab work. And that will just tell the doctor and the nurses how my body is responding to the meds. They want to make sure that my follicles are growing and that I'm producing eggs and that my levels are where they need to be. And if they're not, they will adjust my medication accordingly. And so I will be on those, I will be giving myself those injections and my meds for like 10 days, 10, 11 days is what they're estimating. So my estimated scheduled egg retrieval is for Tuesday, November 20th, which is less than 3 weeks away. So, when I called my nurse to talk to her about my schedule, she made it very clear that is an estimated day, my estimated retrieval day. So it could happen depending on how I'm responding to the meds before the 20th. It could happen after the 20th. She made a big point to tell me that, that's the week of Thanksgiving. So if it has to be done on Thanksgiving, it has to be done on Thanksgiving, and they will be there, I will be there. Things don't stop just because it's a holiday when you're going through IVF. So that brings me back to when I bought my turkey earlier today. So the past few weeks have been kind of, our families have been kind of trying to decide where we're going to have Thanksgiving, who's hosting, who's doing what, just trying to get everybody on the same page. And Derek and I really wanted to host Thanksgiving this year, and so we ended up being able to do that. And of course, now that that's been arranged, we get hit with, oh, by the way, you may be having an egg retrieval not only the week of Thanksgiving, but it could be done on Thanksgiving Day. So I'm not that worried about it. I mean, yes, holidays are stressful, but at the same time, we're going to have a lot of family support. So we'll make it work no matter what happens. We're just so thankful that we're here and that we're going through this process. So, you know, what better holiday than Thanksgiving for something like this to happen? So the hardest part will be, this is the first Thanksgiving that my mom and I won't be cooking together, or at least the first time in a long time. Especially the first Thanksgiving that we haven't been together since Derek and I bought our house, and I've never really cooked a Thanksgiving dinner on my own before, so I'm excited to have my my husband's family's help. I know that they're going to be awesome and help me as much as they possibly can. So, but yeah, it's crazy. This is the first Thanksgiving I actually bought the turkey myself. So, you know, I'm 30 years old and doing all of this kind of for the first time. So, but I'm excited. I really am. And so, you know, the retrieval I'm a little nervous about, just because I've heard that it's one of the hardest parts. It's kind of like you know, you're put under anesthesia. You can have, it can be uncomfortable afterwards, and so I'm a little nervous about that, but also super excited. I can't wait to hear how many eggs and how many embryos we make. Usually it's about a 3 to 5 day process after the egg retrieval, and then we'll hear back about our embryos. Derek will obviously take me to that appointment. He has to go anyway to give a sample, and then of course he has to be the one to drive me home because I'll be very, very sleepy. And then a lot of people have been asking us too about our transfer for our embryos, and we're actually doing a frozen embryo transfer. So that's one of the things that I'm actually really happy about, is because the stress of the egg retrieval itself is kind of isolated. I don't have to worry about the embryo transfer happening just 3 or 5 days after that. Our doctors and nurses are, you know, telling us that we're going to have a break, you know, in between. So I did ask my nurse about that and what that timeline was maybe going to be like, and they kind of slow down during the holidays. They're there for the people that need them. Obviously, like I said, things don't just stop because it's a holiday when you're going through IVF, but you know, she did say that it'll probably be January when we'll do our frozen embryo transfer. So that'll be amazing. So after Christmas and everything, after the new year. And so let's see, I have a bunch of notes. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to talk about these forms. So when I say it was 40 pages, I'm not kidding. So this is my bundle for the, it says IVF process, risks, and consent. So Derek and I had to read everything that could possibly happen from this process and initial them all, sign the very last page, and we had it notarized. And it says page 1 of 20 down here at the bottom. And then the second one, which was most interesting for us, was the agreement for disposition and storage of IV or in vitro pre-implantation of embryos. So basically everything that happens with our embryos, we have to decide now. You know, and you have to kind of decide what you want to happen to the embryos that you're not going to be using. So for some people, it's a really big moral dilemma. You know, if you think that all of those embryos are, you know, kind of like your babies, which I can understand why some people would feel that way, because you've worked so hard for them. So what happens to the ones that you don't implant? What happens, you know, if your spouse passes away? What happens if you and your spouse, what if your marriage doesn't work out? They go through every single possibility, and then there are like a half a dozen different options for those embryos that you have to choose for each individual situation. So, you know, for example, you can donate them to other couples going through infertility. You can donate them for science and research purposes. You can have them destroyed, for lack of a better term, which, you know, that's hard for some people to kind of think about. You know, these are embryos that could possibly become people, and so it's difficult to choose one way or the other what to do with your embryos in these different situations. And these are tough situations to talk about. You know, nobody really wants to talk about if your spouse dies or if you and your spouse get divorced, you know. So that was a weird conversation to sit down and have, but it was sweet. As soon as I came home from work on Tuesday and handed Derek all those papers, he sat down and read every single one by himself. It's amazing how much he's tried to help and be there for me. It's funny though, people keep asking me if who's gonna be doing my injections. You know, am I gonna ask Derek to do my injections? And my response to that is no. I'm gonna do the injections myself if I can. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't know if it's because I work with needles and syringes and vaccines and injections at work on a daily basis. I'm sure it helps. But you know, I'm a lot more comfortable with it than he is. So I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to be the one to do them anyway. So, and I'm a control freak. You know, if the injections are going to go wrong, I don't want to have to blame anybody, you know, but me. So, but it's just so crazy. In a week, I will be giving myself hormone injections, stim shots, you know, for the cool kids. So, what I'll probably be doing for my next, you know, video or two is taking a lot of short videos throughout the next couple of weeks and then maybe compiling them together and posting it, you know, once everything's finished. So, you know, if you're curious about how things are going, just reach out to me. I'm sure I'll post pictures and, you know, little updates on Instagram and Facebook too throughout the way. But I'm just so grateful for our what's going to be happening the next few weeks. I'm so grateful for this time of year. This holiday season is always one of my favorites, and it just feels right and special that this is the time of year that we may be making our M babies, and that we may be announcing some good news in the next, you know, few weeks to months. So I just hope everybody thinks of us and, you know, sends us prayers and positive thoughts. It really does mean a lot to us. So yeah, we're just so happy. I can't believe it. We will talk to you soon, and we love you all. Have a good night. Bye-bye.